All right, a very good evening to all. It's Warrior Junior here with another episode of the cornucopia of a potpourri of potluck of information that pertains to the way that I see the world and how I feel that hopefully you can benefit from my grand wisdom. You know, I don't know why I almost said grand wizard. And I think about that, like a grand wizard. What is that? Stupid, um, the nonsense, the magic, the Potter, stupid, that guy, the wizards, Dungeons and Dragons, nonsense. I remember when I was a kid. It's kind of funny, and I say things and then things come to me. A wizard. I remember there was a place in Universal City Walk called Wizards, and my friend, took me on my 21st birthday. He took me to see this guy, Kerry Ross. Yeah, he was a comedian, magician, and what he could do, I think he held the world record at one point of being able to escape the straitjacket. Envision this, he can't get, he could do it. I think that record was broken or something, but he was able to get out of it. Can you imagine that? As a prank, he goes to the insane asylum or something. He's acting crazy. He's like, we got to get that guy in a straitjacket. They put it on the straitjacket, and like 6 seconds later, he's out of it. That would be funny. It's like the people that could solve the Rubik's cube. Like I watched, Pursuit of Happiness, that movie with Will Smith, and there's an extra on the DVDs. There's an extra feature that showcases like Rubik's cubers, a tournament, and they show like you can show the Rubik's cube unsolved and blindfold them, and in 8 seconds they can solve it. Incredible, incredible. They the algorithm, but it is like I think an 8-step, 9-step process. So, of course, I get off topic, and that's how this shit always goes. But you know what? I like to let things fly. I actually talked to my friend today and told him that, hey, this is don't let your wife, if you listen to this, don't, because I let it all fly. I don't hold back. As in life, you shouldn't. But unfortunately, it's kind of difficult because we're so conditioned to not stick our necks out there in society. Let me give you some examples today. I saw some lookers today. I saw some good ones, and I just, what, I didn't want to come off like as a predator, stalking, creepy guy kind of thing, and it's just it's hard because your mind, and what see, it's not the paralyzing fear for me at this point, but what happens is when you don't see success, they say success begets success, and if you don't see any success coming from all of your efforts, you start to go, why, man, like why I got to water this thing down, I can't. And that's the problem. You're going to resort back to your old ways. Back to watching porn, whatever. Um, Not trying, not sticking your neck out there, unless you're a hydra or something. Neck, you should only have one. Um, it's I try to like live 24/7. Now, of course, as a human being, we need our sleep, but I'll sleep when I feel like it. Hopefully, and then sometimes I'm up all night and I'm up all day. So I try to like constantly work 20 when I'm up. Now the problem is that I think it was Willie Nelson said this: nightlife ain't no good life. And now I understand what he was implying by that because look, if you're people that run businesses and stuff, shit's open during the day, like of course there's stuff open at night, but business deals, most people they meet, during the day, everything's done during the day. So you need to be able to people sleep at night, and you're running around trying to meet chicks at night, and it's kind of like the guard is up, just like the banks are closed at night for a reason. They're scared. You know, And I think that, nobody wants to admit they're scared of anything. Nobody wants to show them that they have like a weakness, like that they're that I don't know why my fucking camera's going slow here. Hopefully we'll get back. Are we back? Shit, what happened? Hopefully we come back. Your connection is unstable. Please try. Okay, hopefully we'll get back here. Um, I hate to lose my train of thought when I'm giving out such great information. Um, where was I going with? Being afraid. And nobody likes to, admit they're scared of something like that weakness. So I always use that word acting. People act like they're tough. Look at these guys. They walk. They're like they're tough. I'm tough, man. You're a fucking idiot, is what you are. You ain't fooling me. I'm not brand new. I've seen The Wizard of Oz. Damn, what the fuck is going on here? My computer. I'm showing a tough face right now. Like that's the screenshot thing. Yeah, what the fuck is going on? Losing the picture, the feed, the audio. Have to do this again. Hopefully we'll come back here. Hopefully we haven't. We're still here. Hopefully. But that tough people walking around, the guys, and usually the people like that do that, they walk around with that tough scowl on their face, and some of them got some decent weight behind them, they're fat, um, they're like, from the hood, or they're from like, the barrio or whatever, get that, tough, yeah, tough, the street creep, whatever. What the fuck? Okay, I don't know, I keep losing. I don't know what the hell is going on here, but that's all a show. That's all nonsense. And then the validation is, well, I'm from the tough area, yeah, tough down there. And then even one better, I can one up the level, the retard plus is one of these guys say, well, I was in the county jail, the prison. Yeah, they're real proud of that. Wow, you were in the big house. Wow, you really. It's not like saying you graduated college or something. You're incarcerated because you're a fucking loser. Like real something to be proud of. It's not like Jailhouse Rock, Elvis Presley and stuff like that. It's a stupid, it's people. And they're out there. They're out there, these idiots, and when I see them coming my way, what I do is I go just around them. I'm not going to challenge them for the walk lane, whatever. Dude, you're that fucking, you think it's tough and everything. You know what's tough? What's tough is becoming successful. What's tough is challenging societal beliefs. What's tough is becoming a better person. What's tough is breaking bad habits. That's tough. Acting like that, that's nothing. Okay? What's tough is learning how to really fight, or martial arts, or boxing, getting good. That's tough. Because that requires fucking hours and hours of dedication and seriousness and focus. Or if you want to talk about acting, becoming a successful actor, that's tough. Okay? But acting like an imbecile, like a lot of these people are, that's not tough. That's just talking out their ass. The Wizard of Oz kind of thing. It's a farce. It's a smoke screen, is what it is. You're falling. What you're doing is you're being bluffed out. When I used to play cards, every once in a while, like people have a lot of money. What they would do is they would push you out of their hand through aggressive betting because they have enough money, so they could basically just you see maybe they got nothing, but still the pot's big enough. So what they do is they make these big bets and they scare the shit out of you. Now, if you have a monster hand, you're going to call, but usually they know already. So what they're doing is they're they're trying to get you out of there. So it's all part of bluff, and it's all part of like that a tactic and intimidation. Because if you take a good sized person, it doesn't matter if they know how to fight or anything. Good size, right? And you put like an angry face, angry face like this, and they're coming right at you like this. So you're what it is they're beating you up here. They're saying, wow, it's like that boulder in Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Remember that giant boulder? Run, but you see, they're not a boulder. It's nothing, because it's your mind. You're thinking like this big guy, he could do something, but again, more than likely he can't. You have to remember something. If he was a professional fighter, you wouldn't be walking around, like looking to start problems. You have to, you cannot give people too much credit in any endeavor. The problem is that you assume, you think, wow, this big guy, he's all mad and everything like that. Wow, there's this one guy, and now I've seen even one better. There's this club on Sunset. It's a Bootsy Bellows. It's a private kind of club. I've been in there because like once a year they have a Jewish singles thing on Christmas Eve. It's supposed to be, so I would go, every once in a while, once a year. So I would go to this thing, and I remember, like, I said I went up there a couple weeks ago just to, when I do my great walks, the great walk, because I like to see the women that are out there. I want to see what's going on. So what happens is there's this dude, right? Like I know he's on some serious gear, and he has like a real tight white dress shirt, right? And this guy, like, he's like, I don't know, he's like fucking, he's a white guy, and he kind of looked like a model-esque. He's got good hair and everything, and he's got like black kind of gloves that he wears. They're like, real tight. They're not like UFC fighting gloves, but they're tight. And so he's got that white shirt, and he's got great separation, like this dude. But again, and then he walks like, I think he's like head of security or something with the parking. But I could, like, when he walks, it's like just, it's like a tank kind of coming, like a John Cena, something. But it's not John Cena or anything. You don't know. You don't know what this guy is. Okay. Now, of course, it's a little more. He probably thinks, like, you're thinking, wow, this guy could probably tear you apart. But again, it could just be smoke and mirrors. Look, I've seen many guys. They know how to take stuff, and it's like pumping air. Yeah, it's bodybuilding big. It doesn't mean they know how to, like, really take you down, manhandle you, like fucking wrestle you to the ground. Now he probably knows a little something because, he's a security, But again, if he was like a professional fighter, which he's trying to look like he is, more than likely he wouldn't be there. But it's a lot of intimidation now. So I'm not, if you go back and you listen back to my old episodes, I'm not saying you're thinking to challenge any of these clowns or anything like. You don't have to. You don't have to take in. My point is that, you just don't want to fall for, what most people, are falling for. The same kind of gimmick. Uh, it's just part of the generic narrative. Like maybe in his mind he's wishing like he was a UFC fighter, that he could be something. I don't know, but you see, the reason I bring this up is because when I go out to these places, they try to get me out of there. They're trying to, like, they see, it's like, who's this? What's this putzer? What's he doing here? Why is he standing? And I says, I don't have to validate anything. I go to these places. I go wherever I want, when I want, because it's my life. Now, the title of this description is The Prison Without Bars. Okay, so the Pete Rose had this book. I read it, and I'm not going to get into, his what happened with him, but it was called My Prison Without Bars, and it's kind of like, about his life and how he was kind of blackballed from baseball. So what does that relate to? It's like, yeah, he wasn't arrested, he didn't go to jail, but like his life felt like he was like imprisoned with it. Now, so the reason, I started this channel when I talk about, pickup and, trying to meet women outside of like societal norms, which is like, well, my friends, I tell my friends, I said, well, what do you think of my ideas? What do you think of this? And they go, you're going to get stabbed. You're going to get shot, and it's, don't you watch the news? And they're just trying to scare you, they're trying, you see, you like if you're not willing to challenge your fears, then it's just going to keep you in prison. It's going to keep you like it's. And so I think about that. I say to myself, well, okay, pretend you're like a guy that's been in prison for such a long time and you're finally free. What would you do? Like if when you go out to nightclubs and stuff, you saw a woman you were attracted to, you're free. Like you're gonna go after her. You're gonna try, right? You're not gonna procrastinate. You say, all right, I'm free. I got a chance. So I think of that the same way. Like I've been kind of imprisoned, my whole life, and in a way, I have. It's fucked up. That part of imprisonment is being brainwashed with what I call societal beliefs, which say that hey, she's with a guy that's no, you can't try. So, well, why can't I? Why can't I try? Is there a law? No. So why can't I try? Because you're supposed to, if somebody's with somebody, that you're supposed to. Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you. So you start thinking. You're going to start thinking, outthinking yourself out of everything. You don't know anything. Okay, you think you know everything, and if you have a paralyzing fear, like I did, with the shyness, then you're fucked. It takes, like I talked about this in my earlier episodes, extreme problems need extreme solutions. Not like, oh, little by little. Look, if you want to crack something, a problem, you have to attack it like a fucking cancer. It has to be not like, oh, a little bit, let's go after it. No, why? Why? Well, you're going to get your ass kicked. And I say, that's fine then. Now, I'm not saying you go up to every woman and do this like a crazy maniac thing. I didn't say that. I never implied that. I said maybe 1 to 3 a day, if that. Now, I'm extremely picky, the kind of women I like. When I was younger, I wasn't, but I noticed as I've gotten older, like the kinds that I like are very tough to find. I know the women that I'm attracted to. And I could talk about extreme examples of like, oh my God, what if, I made a joke about this. The most craziest thing you can ever think of is, you see the one you really like, and let's say she's at like the In-N-Out or something in Hollywood on at night on a weekend, and there's 10 Mexicans, they got bikes, the gang members all surrounding her, it's one chick, right? And the warrior mentality, it's not even to think. It's to go right in there. And he said, dude, they're gonna kill you. And it would just be really funny to make a video about, that you're supposed to go in there. And and it would be really cool that, you would think that those guys are just gonna start beating the shit out of you for trying. But then, they see that you're just sincerely just trying to pick her up, and she says no, and you go, mucho cojones, ese, like you got balls, man. You get like respect from that, like because they think like there's 10 of them, they're gonna kill you, like but it wasn't about that. It was, you see, the understanding that you have this paralyzing fear, and you're trying to do anything you can to fucking to end it, see, when you really start to understand this, you're thinking, most people are thinking that are listening to this, it's like, oh, it's pickup. You're just trying to go up to these women to get laid. Yeah, but you see, what you're doing is you're attacking the most difficult part of it. Of course, you're not going to take that woman away from 10 guys. That's not the point.
The point is that you're willing to try. That way, when you see the girl by herself in the market and stuff, you won't even procrastinate. You'll like be able to, oh, okay, now I can try. You make things more practical and realistic. It's like, but to get to that point, you have to take like extreme measures. Now I'm prophesizing. I'm saying that if it's not illegal, there's no law against it. You're not harassing. You're not threatening. Then I don't see what the problem. Well, she's with somebody. Well, where I live in West Hollywood, how do you know that person's not gay? How do you know that's not a friend, brother, sister, cousin? See, most people, but they don't even think like that. They go, well, she's with somebody, then it's I can't try. I can't try. No, 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 no. So, and if you have like the shyness that I really had, you're basically just fucking yourself. You're waiting for like that perfect time. It's never gonna happen. I'm 47. Let me tell you, it never going to happen. It's never going to happen because I told you this. You go back and listen. A woman of high currency, if they're not busy walking their dog, if they're not on the phone, if they're not with a girlfriend or with a guy friend, they're not doing nothing. They're always doing something. Always. I'll give you an example. I was going up to see my friend today. I was going up the street, and this chick, wow, she was borderline close to what I liked. I think I couldn't really get the ethnicity. Sorry, she was Russian or something. She was wearing like a sports bra. I know she had like fake tits. They were really nice. She had a skinny frame. She wasn't exactly what I liked, but so what happened was she crossed the crosswalk and she was positioned right by me. Well, so what I said was, okay, I'm gonna hit the light. I was actually eating an ice cream sandwich, and she did not look at me one time. I tried to say something, get her attention, but she just went right on her phone. That's what they do. That's what they do. Pretend they're busy to so you can't get it's just that's just part of the mentality that some of these women have. They're making it really challenging and really difficult for you. So you know what? I just said in my mind, I don't need this one. I don't need to try, and I just let it go. I just what. But my point was that you you just can't like overthink things too much. So when I call this episode my the prison without bars. I think that it's that part of challenge. It's part of that challenge to yourself that if you're like me, you have that problem. Now I know with people listening to this, it's not. See, a lot of people don't get this. It's why I do this live, because I want it to be real. I want to be able to say things that I feel, and for the future. So like this is archived, so that somebody that might relate to this, they'll listen to this. Hopefully, I'd like to be around for a long time, but God forbid, you die before your time. At least it's there. At least you say, wow, this guy was really open and honest about his difficulties and trying to get action from women, how difficult it is, and how difficult other things are. But how what I do about it, and that's the problem is that they don't really. Nobody really addresses this. These guys that do pickup artists, they're they're good. Okay, they're good for helping younger people mostly, because you see, pickup artist is about just volume. They say, okay, we talk to this many women, you get this many phone numbers, you get this many dates, you get laid this many times. So you're getting, they're teaching, the basic um, numbers, playing the numbers game, everything like that. Okay, listen, I've been to those pickup artists. I've talked with those guys. I've been to those summits where people do this. And I remember I stuck my neck out there one thing. There was a guy, I forget what his name was, and there was like maybe 30 of us in the crowd. And they go, anybody got any questions? It was kind of a tough dude, right? And nobody's asking anything. And I said, my name's Michael. I've got kind of like a hard time here. He goes, what's your problem, man? And I said, well, man, like I
just seemed to be striking out. And then he said something, and I started opening up honestly. And I remember, like, in front of, I'm standing up there, like, you got 30 dudes around me that are looking at me, and the guy, is that guy a joke? I remember, and I go, look, I'm just being serious, like I'm being honest. And look, there's a lot of people that they're just too embarrassed. They don't want to open up. And nobody in the crowd laughed at me, but the guy, like, after they're finished with the thing, he called me over to the side to, like, kind of talk to me. So it's like, kind of commended me on my honesty. And that's the thing. I got to be honest with you. Women are not going to understand this. Um, how can they? Because they're not guys. They're not. Um, they might say they understand certain things, but they don't. They can't because they have not walked in your shoes. It's a different element for them. They try to turn it reverse. Say, well, look, I walk around, I get all this attention from guys, and I hate it. Yeah, well, you know what? It's not. They're not going to get it forever, because what happens is, when women are young and beautiful, they're going to get all the attention and looks. But what's going to happen is time's going to add up, and then when time starts to add up, they begin to kind of mostly begin to panic, and because they there's this beauty attached to youth, and guys stop looking. Then they start wondering. They start, well, why am I not getting his attention anymore? Oh shit! So it's like they now they want it. It's like they didn't want it. Now they can't have it. Now I'm generalizing. But I from my experience of spending most of my life in nightclubs and bars, or going out, I've seen women get dressed up for a reason. Why? Because, I guess they're trying to look good for society. And, or maybe trying to look good for themselves, but I think it's to get some type of validation from everybody out there. And the problem is when somebody like me really tries to, like, step forward out of the herd of, let's say, 100 guys, that there's nothing, they're all looking, they're all gawking, but I'm trying not to be 101. I'm trying to be something special that might be able to possibly get some action from that woman. Then you get what's called the resistance. And it's, it sucks. It's like you step up to the plate, and it's like, whoever's with that chick or a girlfriend or a friend, are like, get the fuck out of here, kind of thing. And I'm like, well, geez, why are you so mean? Like, it's ironic. I helped this old lady across the street. I don't ask for anything from her. I do, you're such a nice man. And I go, I know that. And it's like, I remember this one old, and I said, why is it when you women are so young and beautiful, you're so, they don't know any better. They don't know any better. He told me, like, that kind of thing. And I thought about that, and it's like, yeah, now, I'm not saying all, but it's just been my experience that, there's no perfect time. During the day, a lot of women, they're busy to go somewhere and everything. And then at night, it's like the shield is up, like the stranger danger. You would think it's like, I told you, I seen those shirts that says, jackets, the Antisocial Social Club. I said, what the fuck is it? Well, yeah, it's antisocial. So that means, like, they go to the bar, but they're with their friends. We're not there to meet you, like, we're there to just, so it's like cliquish kind of thing. And then what happens is, the older you get, then it's like you're too old. They kind of say in a nice way, they don't want to hurt your feelings, but you're not, no, you can't join in. And I'm like, well, I always try to say the reason that people get old is because they stop acting young. I'm not saying go out and get fucked up drinking or just smoke or whatever, but you need to be active. You need to be active and an active participant in life. A lot of older people don't do that. Um, they become very stagnant. Uh, I talked about in the beginning episodes about what happened to me. I was subjected to some very hard bullying about a month ago. Very surprising, very surprising. You know, I was stepping up my warrior mentality, um, and I like to like explain that because I know I explained it in the beginning, but I like to just remind myself and then some people that maybe will be listening to this episode later of exactly what I call, like why I call this the warrior junior mentality. Okay, I realize we're not living in Spartan times. I realize we're in a civilized society. Okay, and I realize this is not the movie 300 or whatever. Okay, but there is truth in nonsense. There's in movies there is something to take out of this, and the takeaway is that those guys held their ground. They were taught to fight to defend, and they were bold. Okay, and they were like killers. Okay, now I'm not saying go, but the mentality of when you see something you like, you should be bold. Most people, they're waiting for a perfect time or a perfect situation, and it's not there. It's not going to be there. I tried. I remember I used to like I seen this one chick, and I was waiting. Okay, is she gonna get off the phone so I can do my approach now? Get off the phone. And the second she gets off the phone, this girl, like her friend, comes back from the bathroom, and I'm like, damn it. Okay, when the friend goes away, then I can go. And then like, well, all right, we're out of here. And I'm like, just I never got a chance. I never got a chance. Of course, you didn't get a chance because you didn't make a chance for yourself. You're waiting for this perfect time. And then like the girl with the guy kind of thing, that's the most that show look, there's no more bold than that. There's no more bold. If you see people together and now they're holding hands, I still say to do the approach because it builds inner strength. Your goal is to not to try to take her away from him. Your goal is to try to show that like you're not scared. Like I talk about that thickness, that ice thickness of paralyzing fear, like a shy person has or had. I don't have it anymore, but at times I do. But it's like it has to be cracked, like it has to be fucking worked on, and it's hard. Some people they go see like therapists about this, and the therapist sits there while the guy's sitting there and just going like this. You don't need a fucking degree to be a therapist or psychologist. Go very interesting. I need a pipe. You don't understand something. It's like when you have an issue like this, you have to attack it. And how do you attack it? By testing yourself. And people, they're scared. They don't want to do it. They're scared. They're going to get stabbed. They're going to get shot. They're going to get beat up. You know what answer I have for that? Go ahead, beat me up then. Stab me, kill me. Well, you're being ridiculous. Of course I'm being ridiculous. But I heard that's this saying not too long ago. I said it's better to live one day as a lion than 100 years as a sheep. Most people will take the 100 years. I'll take the 100 years as a sheep. That's what they will not do it. They won't. It's just because you're telling somebody to do something that's beyond their threshold of anything. Now I talk about pickup. Maybe for you it's something different that you could like that's holding you down. Like you're just fucking scared shitless to try it because society people will laugh at you. They will criticize you. Oh, criticism. Aristotle. I think it was Aristotle says you don't want to be criticized. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Don't try anything, and don't be anything. Be not, and you won't be criticized. I don't care who it is. Everybody's criticized for trying. It's there's no way. There's no way, because if you believe, even if you believe it in your heart, like it's the right thing to do, people are going to come out of left field telling you, no, man, you crazy, crazy. Well then, fuck you. Like I don't. It's like the wrestling WWE event, right? They have those barriers, like people in the front row, like the guardrails, whatever. They stay in the crowd. Let them hold their signs. Let them boo and yell as loud as they can, but they don't get to be on stage. They don't get to be in the ring. Now I equate this. I know I talk about being the star of your own movie. They are not allowed to be in your movie. You're the star. You're the director. You're the producer, and you cast who you choose to be in the movie. It's really important. I know I'm highlighting all of my episodes for some reason. I just felt like summarizing many hours of what I talk about. But this is what I believe, and it's easier said than done, because when you go out there and you do something that's not normal, it's going to stick out. People might pull out their phones, record you. Wow, what a weirdo! What's he doing standing out there trying? What's he doing trying to talk? What the hell's wrong with that guy? I've had people come up to me recently when I was standing outside this nightclub. Some of these idiots wouldn't even wait a second to hear an answer from me, and I wouldn't even give it to them anyway. Because if you try to get into, some type of intellectual discussion about this with me, you won't have a leg to stand on, because that's all I do. I study this shit. I study, like, you're going to tell me how to live my life if I'm not breaking the law or something like that. What the fuck are you? You have no chance. You can't. Trying to get me out of there. That's what it is. They're trying to push you out of life, is what they're trying to do. One way or the other. Get out of here. Trying to get you out of there, It's fucking time. And I keep going back. This is my fucking life, not theirs. I'd love to fucking try to beat you to your knees and keep you there. There's some good-sized people out there, there's a lot of them. Jesus, these guys walking, they get drunk. And it's like I started thinking about this guy, that's why I fucking practice my fighting every day. I don't brag about it. I don't walk tough. I don't. Did Bruce Lee walk tough? No, I seen in some of the movies when he got mad, he but I know it's a movie, and shit like that. But what you want to do is just, you don't need to show off anything. It's just in your arsenal. It's in your arsenal. It helps, like, for confidence, stuff like that. I'm not. The last thing that I need to do is get into a fight with somebody. It's stupid, because then you're outputting your energy to some idiot knucklehead, and you don't need that. That's not the goal. The goal for me is, to be able to crack the ice of what's holding you back. In this case, it's about getting those hot chicks that I like. Now, again, you don't make the fight. It's up to them, and ideally, But the thing is, they're not clairvoyant, psychic, or mind readers. They don't know. And the thing is, if you don't try, you absolutely are not going to get. That's a guarantee. Was it Wayne Gretzky said? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I guarantee you, this includes, all the shots that, what Michael Jordan said, the only reason that I succeeded is because I failed so many times. So now, again, I'm very, very, very picky. But I don't care if I see that, like, a woman that qualifies according to my standards and she's with a guy, then I'm going to try. That's it.
Now, if the guy, you get out of here, mate, you know, it takes a real fragile ego to be that defensive. Imagine it's like having the force over somebody. Like now, again, I'm not getting in her face and I'm not being harassing hard. I'm trying, like a casual kind of thing. I see it could be a casual opener and then kind of try and he'll know instantly you're trying. But if he's that defensive, I mean, think about this. You go back far enough, he tried one time. It's mine. It's mine. It's not yours, you fucking idiot. You don't understand. Women leave men all the time for you think it's yours. Now I'm not saying it's I can take it mine, but the narrative, the societal belief is that you're not supposed to try. No, 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 they're together. I already told you, West Hollywood is but even outside of West, it doesn't matter. The whole point is you're cracking a paralyzing fear if you have that, like I do. Now, some people like they don't have that problem. All right, it doesn't apply. They don't have to try, But again, it's very, very selective. It's not going up to every woman that's with a guy. No, because you're going to get into altercations because those guys are so defensive like that. Just shows you how weak-minded they are. You're able to fucking control their fucking mind. You're able to get them so upset by literally doing nothing. I'm looking at a woman and I've had guys go, "What are you looking at, man?" And I said, "Whatever I want." Now I have a friend, he's a real sub, and he goes, "Well, Mike, what you should say when someone says, 'What are you looking at?' Say, 'Well, God gave me eyes so I can look at what.'" Yeah, well, that's a real pussy answer. Okay, that's something a submissive person, like they're so validate. Stand up for yourself. Be a man. Now, unfortunately, last time I did that, somebody said that, and it's just amazing. They all came after me. Like it's amazing. They were so intimidated by my presence, by me just standing up for myself. I wasn't even trying to hit on a chick. I was just being being somebody. I told this chick goes to me. She goes, "What are you looking at?" And I said, "Whatever I want." And next thing you know, like I had a war on me. They were not prepared for somebody, and I mean I had my mace on me, and when the guys came at me, I had it in my hand. I could have just fucking you know, but I just was so shocked by the brazenness of some of these young people. It taught me a lesson. It taught me, okay, well, this kind of stuff can happen. They're a little bit more brazen, so like that's why I got into like fighting, and but you know what? Not just for that reason. I thought about it. I said, as somebody that danced for a long time, the ability, like just to be able to do choreography, martial arts, something goes on a resume, could lead to some work. Who knows? The whole idea is to keep bettering yourself. And whatever it is, it's not to seek vengeance or revenge on those idiots. It's not worth. It shouldn't be worth your time, because what happens is if you give the more energy you give to idiots out there, you're taking away from yourself. You're taking it away from you meeting the women. That's my ultimate goal. And the whole thing is, if you're focused on getting this, and somebody's trying to divert you like this way, you got to stay on course. You got to stay on course because those people are going to try to get you off course, and they do that. A lot of guys are they know how to. I'm not saying I don't give them props for it, but it's like they just you know they're being either defensive toward the women, protecting kind of thing, but they're not protecting anything. I mean, they're just getting in the way. Um, and they're not going to help you. It's just an amazing thing. Now during the day, you're not going to get usually this kind of thing. At night is when it's very possible, you know. But in my opinion, a nightclub or a bar, it should be accepted. There shouldn't be. I shouldn't get people threatening me just by me trying to do an honest pickup. But that's how fragile some of these guys' egos are, and a lot of them. I'm a master at. I could piss somebody off with very little effort, and I'm not proud of that. It doesn't do anything for me. But the reason I can do that is because most guys cannot hold their frame. They're easily offended. Um, they're not prepared for a curveball. Like I can take it. You can't. You can't get me upset because I don't get upset over things I can't control. So it's like, how are you gonna call me names and stuff? How did it doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't. My frame is too strong for that. I've heard it all, and it doesn't phase me. It used to, but it doesn't anymore. I'm too far beyond that, and I won't like sink to other people's level, and I won't even give them the attention, and that really pisses people off. I mean, you want to get people mad. Uh, don't give them any information. Give them the death stare. I always talk about that. When he says something, and you just stand there like this, and you stare at them like this. I try to do it with straight. I try to do it with a straight face, but I was kind of laughing because it's funny. But if somebody says something, and you stand there, like I know I'm laughing, but it's true. Brandon Carter talked about that. Some guy was in his face, and he just stood there like this. It's just not laughing. I know, but man, it's like, you know, God, they're not getting any information. They need that information, to assess what you're capable of here. You're giving them just a straight, hard look like that and holding, where they need to, and that's the reason that is, most of these arguments and stuff. Loud, and it's like they just want that information, and back and forth, and okay, yeah, fine, you're a real man, yeah, you know how to fight. Ah, these stupid morons. It's, well, why do you go out to these things? And I told him, the guy, security guy asked, and he said, "Why are you still talking?" I said, "Because I can." It's very, very, very difficult to get the kind of women that I like. I'm sorry. Okay, lower your standards. Besides the point, there used to be bars. Used to be. I don't drink anymore. Bars used to be pickup singles places, single people going, and I don't know what happened. If you go back to many of my earlier episodes, I talk about the show Friends. Generation, like in the mid '90s, and it was a very very popular show. And the girls and the guys, they're just friends. And I think what happened was that infected societal beliefs into thinking, oh, it's just okay to hang around women that you're not sexually attracted to, like in your prime. Well, eventually they all got married. Yeah, after 10 seasons, they were closing down the show anyways. Whatever, the 12th season, they had to wrap it up somehow. And I know it's just a show, but you have to understand the power of NBC, the power of television. People get, like involved with the characters, and that woman, whatever her name is, Rachel, the famous Jennifer Aniston, famous actress now, like whatever. You have to understand, it has a huge impact on society and those people that grew up with that show. And then they had kids and instilling that beliefs that, that's the way it kind of is, between a certain generation. It's kind of like and then somebody like me that didn't have something like that. So there's no kind of sympathy out there for somebody like that didn't have, hey, your fault, buddy. Your musical chairs when the music stopped playing, you didn't have a seat. That's not my problem. The people that it is really a zero tolerance, world of hey, you know, too bad for you. So you kind of have to figure it out on your own, and you can if you're, you know, willing to learn and study and try to figure things out, which can be quite difficult. Um, a lot of people are not willing to do the work, for that. Um, it's like in a way. I told my friend, I was like, well, I do like this is like a diary. What I do here, and he said, no, 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 it's more of a journal. That's really what it is. Diary is private, so this is kind of like in a way, it's a journal of my experiences, but I like to relate my situations. That way, if somebody relates to it out there, eventually, because I do this live, not for people to watch now. It doesn't. That's not what's important. What's important is it's saved, so that way in the future, if somebody can, oh really, he did all this shit. He talked about this. I said, yeah. I talked about, yeah. And I did it live because I felt like that really comes. That's where the real. It doesn't need to be edited because it's honest talk. It's honest talk. And unfortunately, in life, people don't want to be really honest. The more you listen, I won't give out a lot of names of the chicks and stuff like that because it's really irrelevant. What's relevant is the struggles and the challenges, and the perseverance, and trying to figure out like how to um, not go along with the sheep. That's the real important thing. That I started this. Ideally, it's about yeah, the women issue for me, but maybe other people can equate that to something else in their life that's really, you know, giving them a problem. I don't know. I don't know. I guess everybody has something. I think. I don't know. I just speak from my own experience. But that's what I think. That's what's important is challenging. Anything that's holding you down or holding you back. And you would think society would stand behind you and be like, "Yeah, go!" Like you're the hero, like a Rocky in a way. The little guy, he's trying, but they don't. That's a movie, or a WWE event, The Rock, or something like a, the good guy, the baby face, the champ, no, no, you'd be, it's quite ironic where it's not like the movies like Rudy or Invincible, you're a 40-year-old virgin, people, you think they'd be cheering, that movie is a joke that it's irrelevant, but what I get is the guys wanting to fucking kick your ass. You're trying to meet women and you're not doing anything wrong, and they want to kill you. Um, they want to beat you to your knees and keep you there. Now, what I mean by that is maybe not physically beat you, but they want to get you out. They don't want you trying. They don't want you. Like or the women, their girlfriends, the mother hens, they protect them. Their girlfriends protect them. So you're like you're up against, like, or they're on their, you're up against this incredible battle station. I know I equate Star Wars and Star Trek to everything because that's a way that I relate with. I try to. I know life is not science fiction, but there's a lot of real truth
that I relate with. Think about it. What that little, in New Hope, Luke, that little X-wing fighter, you know, like man, that took out that whole Death Star, everything against him. Remember like the music, he goes in the trench, and it's like the fucking cannons are firing, the pulse cannons, they're firing at right at his oncoming, and then from behind there's the fucking the TIE fighters behind and fucking Vader's special fucking ship there. You got everybody fucking in their mother coming against you, and he's trying to get like to get that fucking thing to get that shot in there because he knows if he gets that shot in there, blow up the Death Star. Like he's got everything against him. Like everything, and that's what it feels like for me. I feel like I got everything against me. Like it's like, and nobody's like cheering you. You don't, and you have no resistance. You got nobody at the base. In New Hope or even in resistance, people cheering you like, and at the end, the metal thing, remember the ceremony, the metal thing, and like that, all the people like clap for that. Nobody's clapping, nobody's cheering you on, nobody's, and it's like you're like this, you're trying, and what you're doing is not wrong. That's the most fucked up thing of all, is that you're trying to do something that's not dangerous, that's not immoral, it's not wrong, but and then you've got everybody fucking coming against you, telling, and then you've got the women telling you no, you got the guys telling you get the fuck out of here, and you're like, just fuck me, it's that hard. I mean, I'm laughing about it because it's sad, but it's true. It's that difficult. Like, now, and the reason why it's so hard is because most people get their information from the news, which a lot of that shit is propagated on fear. They show you, oh, there was a stabbing today. Oh, somebody got shot out there. Oh, the guy killed 3 people in this. And you're hearing in these small towns, that happened, and it's like these horror, and then and then what about and then the horror movies and the TV shows they're showing it. So you're watching this kind of stuff. It's scaring the shit out of people, and it makes it, oh, that guy, he's what's it called? He's like not Freddy Krueger, but the you know he, creeps. They did these fucking they have these bad intentions and shit. And, oh, this guy, like, he molested all these women, and it's like these women are thinking like that's you or something. And I said, what do you what? I'm just an innocent person. I'm just trying to meet a nice woman. I'm trying to do something, and the problem is because your approach is a little bold, then all of a sudden you're being targeted as being like there's something wrong with you, like you're crazy, you're a weirdo, what are you doing, you creep, you stalker. What do you mean? I'm trying just to be nice. I'm trying to introduce myself here. Well, that's not how it's done. You got to meet online. Online. You know how many times I gone online and the pictures of the women, they don't look like nothing. They're not, that's why they're there. They're not a. And then I said, well, you got to go to more your people. You're Jewish, right? And I said, yeah. So they have Jewish date, J date. So I said, okay. So I tried that too. I didn't get nothing anyway. So everybody that's got a fucking answer for you. You know what I tell them? I tell them that what they need to do is just fucking turn around because I have my foot that I could like literally push them out of the way. I don't need their opinions. I don't need their help. And I don't need their advice because they're not going to help you. What they're going to do is criticize you, or they're going to give you what's called a vague answer. A vague, it's not specific. They don't know. Go to a synagogue. Yeah, go to a fucking synagogue. You know what? I'm not interested in that shit. Okay? I'm sorry. Like I hate to be, direct, but like everybody thinks they got a fucking answer for something, and you don't think a woman that's attractive doesn't get their choice and everything like that. Okay? I mean, you're asking for something that's incredibly challenging. Okay, because I told you, even today, I saw a woman that was she was okay, like I was like two guys or something, and I took a real good look as I walked by, and I didn't say anything, and look, the guys were looking at me like this guy's like dangerous or something, like they knew like he's yeah, I'm dangerous. I'm not dangerous, but like I'm trying, like and that's the problem is that get used to it. Get used to it. I'm very sorry for you. Like this is the way it is. These people, their egos are so fragile. They think that, and they think you're gonna do something. What am I gonna fucking do? We don't know. Yeah, you don't know because you watch these stupid movies and you watch too much of this nonsense and you're hearing these horror stories and that's what you're thinking. You don't know what somebody's gonna do. Yeah, during the fucking middle of the day. Yeah, like I'm walking. What it's just ridiculous. It's like primitive paranoid culture of that you're thinking because it shows you these movies of Friday the 13th. The guy is Jason Jason Voorhees, whatever. He's coming after the women. He's the guy's a dead man. Literally, he's not even a live person. And the people watch this stuff and they believe it. He's got that giant machete. And he's what's that? I forget which one it was. Might have been the Friday the 13th Part 5 or something like that. And the kid or whatever ties him to like the bottom of the fucking lake Wanachumpa, whatever the fuck it is. Ticonderoga. I don't know what the fuck it's called. And the fucking, he's got the hockey mat and like they bury him underwater. And at the end, like his eyes opened up, like he's still alive, like you can't kill him. It's the dumbest, it's what's the American Horror Story or these stupid shows. These people watching these Criminal Minds, another good where like it shows these creative psychopaths. They're all trying to do. Oh, she was strangled by yeah. See, that's the thing. Everybody's watching this now. They think like every guy is a fucking is a stranger danger. We're all yeah no. Like he's looking to do something. What are you looking to do? I'm trying to get my needs met as a man. All of a sudden, that's a wrong thing. Like it's you're criticized for that. Now, again, of course, the woman made it's their decision, everything like that. But my point is that there's so much interference in this world. Is that if you don't stand out from the herd of the average guy, you're not going to stand out. This is Los Angeles. You're up against very successful people. Those people living in the hills like that, they got cars, money, whatever. I don't know. They're not sharing anything. So you got to get creative. And I talk about this. You go back and listen to my prior episodes. I talk about like some of these people like the chasm, the 1%. They're so they're far up there. A lot of shit doesn't apply to them. It doesn't. So they're irrelevant. They're getting whatever. The actor, famous, whatever. Doctors, whatever. You know, I had a cousin. He's a lawyer. He married some woman. When he was like in college, he met somebody. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I didn't get. Okay. So my example is my example. I try not. It's not frustration. It's not angry. It's just a passion. Like that's what I come off with this. It's a passion for living is what I have. So, that's the whole basis of this channel is you're going to hear my passion, and you're going to hear a lot of it, and I'm going to equate all my experiences, all the challenges, how I challenge societal norms, which I believe that they're misconstrued. They're not designed to help you. Um, and you have to fight against that. You have to fight against because if you don't, then you just go along like the sheep go, and the sheep go. They go nowhere. They live to breathe kind of thing. They don't stick their necks out there. They don't take any calculated risks. They are worried about they're worried about what everybody else thinks, and everybody else doesn't fucking matter. because they're not there to help you. They're there to criticize you, to judge you, or they're jealous of you. They're or to keep you from getting whatever it is you want out of life, whether it be I don't know, everything is just look. It's like somebody in real estate. Let's say some guy owns like all this property. They ain't gonna give you one. Like maybe it's a family or something, but it's like if you're just starting out in the business, you think you're gonna go reach out to like somebody that's owns all this stuff and they're, can you help me? No. Why should they help you? Well, because they were once nothing. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That dude, that has all that, and they're not obligated to give you shit. They don't have to. They don't even have to. They don't even have to tell you anything. And that's the problem. Like everybody thinks that somebody owes somebody something. No, I look at it. I look at society kind of like it's a war in a way. Now, you know that word is kind of harsh, but it is kind of a war. Look at the way people drive. They drive very intensely. Like I have to get somewhere. It's like a tank. I have to drive through. Like I have to get there first, and it's kind of like a war in a way. And I don't like to prescribe to that because you know it's like you go along with that mentality, and then you're just like everybody else. And I was like, I hate that. I hate being like everybody else. I hate allowing anger and frustrations to get the best of you. I think like you should strive to be like beyond. Your level of thinking should be beyond most people. Like the Jedi, like what Obi-Wan did. Remember in A New Hope when the first time stormtroopers in his you see your eyes. You don't need to see his identification. We don't need to see his identification. These aren't the droids you're looking for. These aren't the droids we're looking for. They can go about their business. They can go about their business. Move along. Move along. Move along. Now, what's the point? I'm not telling you that you need to try to tell people how to think, or but my point is that his ability was beyond the normal person. That's like what I'm striving to get to. And it's not about telling other people like that, but do you understand the point is that it's like he's a superman in that way. And the problem is when we think superman, we think the krypton, superman, the super, but I think you can be superman intellectually where you're and the problem is, well, they equate that to like, oh, super intelligence, I'm talking like in society, where people do these things, and because it's like they can't control their action, they're frustrated. They don't know, just the way they go around through life, and they're the rat race thing. And I'm saying I don't prescribe to any of it. I think the whole thing is not conducive to getting what you want out of life. I think it's all bullshit. I think that it's basically brainwashed. We're brainwashed when we're young by our parents that don't know any better um, because they did the same thing. So then you get the instilled beliefs that's the only way to do it, and that's the only way it can be done, and that's it. And unfortunately, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you anything really applicable to becoming a better person. They teach you, when you go to school, it's just a lot of it is just non-applicable. So if it's not applicable, then it's useless. It doesn't help you in the real world. And I know I can go on and on and on and on about this, about the companies like Amazon and Amazon's hiring. Amazon, yeah, well, you're gonna be a fucking sheep for Mr. Bezos that was a very creative person a long time ago. In my mind, 94 is a long time ago, and had the foresight along with a combination of luck that he saw kind of the way the world was going. It's amazing how fast, over like 6 years, then people were buying online, and it's kind of like it's man. I mean, think about this. The Pharaoh. I know I talk about this over and over again, but I just that the Pharaoh that the Egyptians, the slaves, the Jews that were slaves in Egypt, and they worked under the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh's like the king, and in a way, it's the same thing. Like, well, you're getting paid. Yeah, you're getting breadcrumbs. You're getting. I don't care if you're getting 25, 35 an hour. You're getting breadcrumbs compared to the immense buffet that the Pharaoh gets to have every minute of every day. You just don't realize it. You just don't understand really what's going on because you're not educated enough to see beyond the scope of of reality of the way that you're taught to think. These people, like, I don't know, like, brilliant, intelligent, having foresight. It's all different. It's there's elements of luck and timing and things, but these guys that were able to come up with these things, they were the pharaohs in a way. They control everything, and you know whether you know it or not, if you're part of it and you're like getting those breadcrumbs, you are and you just don't want to admit that. Nobody wants to admit that you're working for a post office, a government job, or whatever. You're getting breadcrumbs. You're getting the pigeons. That's what sustains their life, to keeps them going. And I don't know. I wasn't around during the Egyptian times. The pharaohs and the Jews that were so they didn't have a choice. They had to. Well, in a way, no. The people that today, they don't have a choice because money controls everything. So the money is the imprisonment that because it does control everything. So it is the same. And if you look at the back of the dollar bill where it has the pyramid on the back, it's there for a very, very specific reason. Because they know exactly that's exactly what it is. Most people can never put two and two together, because we have quote unquote freedom. You could do whatever you want, kind of thing, but you can't do whatever you want because you need money to survive. That's just the way it is. So it's very interesting, and I will continue to elaborate in future episodes about you know exactly why it's this way, and what's going to happen in the future. I'm not saying I know for sure, but I have some good theories. And and it's an amazing thing, the way that society allows things to get like this, to get what I call out of hand. It's way, way, way out of hand. And it's amazing that people actually control everything that goes on, but the sheep don't control. The sheep go where they're told. And unfortunately, most people are sheep. There's about 1% of people on the planet that control everything, and they are not the sheep. They control everything, and those are the pharaohs. And that's just the way it works. So I know that in the future people are not going to be happy. I'm going to be criticized for all my views and my opinions, but this is why I started this channel, to stick my neck out there. So I hope you like it. I hope this was informative. And until next time, we're Junior signing out, signing off. Don't let life imprison you.